There's so many truthers who are deceived to think that this rocket is hitting the firmament dome. But I'm about to show you the truth about what it actually hits. Get ready. But many people think that that rocket hit God's firmament dome, and that's why water appeared, because they thought that it was the waters above the firmament that were causing that water type appearance. But they did not hit the firmament, because God said in Proverbs 25 verse 3, the heaven for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. So we know that the height of the heaven is actually unsearchable. And remember, in Genesis 1, God called the firmament heaven. So they cannot search the height of the heaven or of the firmament. They will never be able to reach the firmament. What you saw was a superfluid realm called the ether that they are hiding from you. This realm of superfluid is also known as the blue air. And there's actually explorers who trapped samples of this air. So when you see this blue type liquid, you're seeing the superfluid ether realm that's above us. It starts at about 73 miles up. And it is not the firmament. It is a dense realm of air that is referred to as a superfluid. Back then, they used to believe that the ether permeated space. The reason they're hiding this ether from you is because it actually proves that the earth is not moving at all. So I want to show you this document here that's talking about the ether, right? It's normally transparent, meaning you can't see it. But it can be made visible by hitting it sufficiently hard to knock out a part. Alright, so we know that ether can be made visible when it's hit by something, right? Now you see the superfluid realm being hit. Now look at this moon footage. You have these little waves going across. Here goes another one.
Facts.
So we know the moon is traveling through this ether type realm. Now this is why in the 1900s they conducted the Michelson-Morley experiment to try and prove that the earth is moving through the ether realm. This would prove for them that the earth is moving through space. Because remember, they said that the ether permeates space, or it makes up space. Well, guess what? Lo and behold, they did not observe the movement of the earth through this ether realm. So what did they do? They pretty much proved that the earth is not moving. It's stationary. It's not moving through space, or it's not moving through this ether realm. Of course, because God's word is true. He told us the world is established and that it cannot be moved. So then what happened? Einstein released his special theory of relativity. And then the physics community started to accept that the ether does not exist. But of course they're going to say that the ether doesn't exist because it disproves the ball Earth.
Wait, don't scroll. This affects every single person on Earth. So if you're seeing this, I'm guessing that includes you, right? Whether you know that the Earth is a globe, or whether you know that the earth is flat, give me 3 minutes of your time and you can literally change the world for the better. And if you don't care what shape it is and you think it doesn't matter, then please hear me out. And I'll explain exactly why it does matter. Whatever evidence globers provide, flat earthers will never believe it. And whatever evidence flat earthers provide, globers will never believe it. Because we've all conditioned to be that way. It's deliberate, and I'll get to that in a minute. On the globe model, the Antarctic continent takes up a relatively small part of the globe, right at the bottom, and the coastline is at about 10,000 miles long. Okay. On the flat Earth model, obviously it's very different. The Antarctic ice wall goes all the way around the outside, encompassing every continent on Earth, and is approximately 78,000 miles long. That's quite a difference, right? So what if we could prove it for ourselves once and for all, without anyone official being involved, without either side being able to call foul or that's cheating? So here's what I propose. We get half a dozen of the most famous and outspoken globers, half a dozen of the most famous and outspoken flat earthers, and we put 3 of each into 2 different aeroplanes. All right, we start them off at the same point, and those 2 aeroplanes fly off in opposite directions following the coastline, which means they'll meet approximately halfway round on the other side. So on both models, supposing they set off from the closest point to Chile and halfway round, they're both going to meet up somewhere around Tasmania. All right, the difference will be the distance they've travelled and how far and how long it will take them to get there. So supposing, for argument's sake, that those both planes are travelling at 500 miles an hour, then on a globe Earth model, they'll both have to cover 5,000 miles, which is about 10 hours. And on a flat Earth model, they both have to travel 39,000 miles, which is about 78 hours before they meet up. Now that's a huge difference and a huge margin of error. Now this is complicated slightly by the fact that allegedly there is a 90-kilometre no-fly, no-sail exclusion zone around the Antarctic coastline. So both planes would have to travel 100 kilometres from the coastline, which means obviously if it's a globe, then they'll have to travel a further distance. If it's flat, they'll have to travel less distance. But supposing that if they meet up anything less than 20 hours, the Earth is definitely a globe, right? If they meet up anything after 60 hours, the Earth is very definitely flat. Now, if you give all 12 of those passengers a live feed camera, video camera, and also maybe one in the cockpit so they can see the distance travelled as well, all right, then there's no cheating, and one side or the other at the end of this journey, when those two planes meet up, is going to have to say what seems to be the three hardest words in this modern clown world: I was wrong. Now this won't cost a great deal of money, relatively speaking, but I would finance it in an instant if I had the money. I'm homeless and I can't even afford a pair of socks. So this is what I'm asking you to do. You don't need to like this, you don't need to follow me, but please repost it, save the video and share it to absolutely everybody you know on every single social media post and platform you have, and then start petitioning, lobbying and bombarding the rich and famous, people who can afford to do this, to get it done. I'm thinking particularly the rich and famous who claim to be of the people and for the people. So maybe the likes of Donald Trump, maybe the likes of Mr. X, Jordan Peterson, David Icke, Joe Rogan, your favourite sports stars, your favourite movie stars, pop stars, celebrities, anyone who's got deep enough pockets to do this and an interest in actually finding out the truth. Because here's why it matters. The powers that be have got the capability to do this. They've had the capability for many, many years, and they won't do it. Why? Globers will say, because they don't need to. We all know from NASA and all the rest of that stuff. And flat earthers will say, because they know it's a lie. Okay, how do we find out the truth unless we get it done ourselves? Because the powers that be don't want everybody to know the truth. Okay, and now I'm not saying it's one reason or the other, but the point is, it's an artificial fence that keeps everybody divided. Okay, in the same way as sex, age, religion, race, gender, party politics, vax, unvaxxed, it's all artificial fences to divide the masses, divide and rule, right? Because as long as everybody's arguing with each other, then nobody's looking at who's really responsible for this shit show that we call the modern world, right? So whether it turns out to be a globe or whether it turns out to be flat, the point is we will all know. It will be the one thing that will unify the masses, all the people on Earth. And here's why it really matters. Virtually everyone will be familiar with the Star Wars films. And at the end of the first film, the all-powerful, seemingly invulnerable, invincible Death Star is destroyed by one inherent weakness, right? And it transpires later in the series that that inherent weakness, that Achilles heel, was deliberately incorporated into the design by the creator. Are you with me? Now they say there's an easy way and a hard way of doing everything, all right? I stopped participating 3 years ago, and I've been out in the forests ever since, imagining, dreaming up and creating something truly amazing. But no one has ever asked me in those 3 years what it is I'm doing out here. Not even my birth family, my soul family, or my closest friends. Okay, so we'll have to do it the hard way. So if you can get this experiment done and provide proof once and for all, then you will destroy that metaphorical Death Star. You will not only break free from the Matrix, but you will break the Matrix, which will allow New Earth to come into existence with its infinite possibilities for the abundance and prosperity for all living creatures on Earth. I think that's worth doing. But I'm out of mobile data, I'm out of money, I'm out of time, and frankly, I'm out of patience. So this is Ecotopia, signing off. I love you all, and have a fabulous day.